Alright, so Franklin got carried away on this thing the last couple days. Got these tore down here in between some projects. This thing is slow going. It's really hard to tell, but if y'all can see that right there, how thick that is, pointing from there up, that's how thick this mud is all the way through here. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy for an old car. One owner, GTO. It has a little bit of rust. Nothing crazy. This is the only rust we found. So there was no need for that. They got rid of body lines, everything. Just made a mess of this poor old girl. So we're stripping it. We're gonna get this thing straight. Man, we're in for a treat. All new chrome. We're pulling the engine to redo the bay. A whole bunch of crazy stuff going on with it. So stay tuned. We're gonna get there slowly but surely. But for now, we're just gonna keep plucking along on this side here. I got a Mercedes in that I'm gonna work on a little bit, but we're cruising along on this here GTO. So these are the only two spots we've got. We've got it down, and man, if you feel this thing, I mean, it's overall straight. We've got a little wavy right here, nothing crazy. Alright, compressor's on, it's a little noisy, but I'm plugging away on this and I just had to show you guys this. Look at this block I built. So that kind of shows the slant of it. The body panel slants downward, you know what I mean? So then they built this so it slants outward. So that doesn't even go with the flow of the panel there. And then just look at the thickness. Crazy. So this thing had a little bit of a dent. It looks like they ran something here, hit something there, it missed the door, and then got the front of the car at one point way back in the day. And so we just got a little bit of body work to do on this thing on this side so far. Nothing too crazy. Everything's pretty smooth overall. But man, we are just shredding the mud off of this car. It's just piles and piles of it. So, I guess we're gonna keep shredding. We got this side basically done. We're just trying to do final details. And we still have this whole side to do. So, let's get back to it. All right, so we basically got it stripped. It's looking pretty good in spots, real bad in other spots. So as I've said several times, this was an original owner 1969 GTO. Original owner. Owner said the car was not in bad shape. So explain this one to me. This Bondo line is where they cut the panel and welded it back together. What in the world were they doing? That's a hard line. And they brought it all the way down through the window, which makes no sense at all. We can see here it's real thin metal, so that means that it's been worked before, most definitely. Huge, massive dent right in here. I honestly don't know what they were doing with this car. So we've got that. Then over here, we take a look. They have actually cut the panel once again. Why? I don't know. So this thing was definitely cut from here all the way back to here. no good, just a mess. Up here's pretty good, but then we get to this. What were they doing? They tried pulling it, doing something, had no headway with it. Yikes. Then we have this patch panel. It is cut in, oh, it's brazed in even, but it doesn't fit, and it's rusting. How is a patch panel rusting? You can see exactly where they cut it in. And it's rusting out. What? This car hasn't even been driven or ran since the last person did the body work. So how is it cracking out? Interesting. Anyways, so we got it pretty well stripped. We've just got some like detailed touch-ups to do. Check out this pile of mud. That's your $600 mud pile right there. We're gonna try to call like the local parts houses and see exactly how much mud Dallas Customs, yes, they're the ones that did it. Didn't want to say their name, but you know, I suppose. And see exactly how much mud or money they spent on mud, because man, this is crazy. Look at all that. We, I mean, literally my hand's worth. It's bonkers. We got a little volcano here of some mud dust. I just feel like a little kid in a sandbox trying to play with it. But yeah, no kidding, right? Get some lead poisoning and whatnot, you know, all the good stuff. But I just want to show you guys the mess that we've been working with here on these cars. But we got another one sitting over there that's gonna be just like this car was. So yeah. Yo, check this out. Isn't that nice? That's all the seam sealer holding this windshield in. No wonder it flipping leaked water. Look how crazy this is. It just like peels on out. This is so sad. Can't believe I'm having to do this to this thing. So we tried to get a glass company to come in and they looked at it and they're like, no, I can't pull that without breaking the windshield most likely. So if you want to try without breaking it, you're more than welcome to. But we could pull it and try ourselves. So I'd rather not pay the money and have a glass company try it when I feel pretty comfortable with glass. I've done quite a few windshields. I've done my wagon, I did the wife's car, I did the wife's old car. I mean, I've done quite a bit of glass. We did all the quarter glass. So we've just, I mean, I've done a lot of glass work, so definitely not afraid of it by no means. So I'm gonna try to get this windshield out. But as you can see, it's just like all falling down here in a big old soft, bally, goopy pile. So I'm gonna dig it out all the way around and then pop this windshield out and then onto the back glass. I don't even know. Let's see. Oh, now that's a little harder. Yeah, that's a little better there. I can't dig that one out so easily. So, oof, that might be a little trickier. But let's keep trucking. All right. So we are back on the GTO here. And guess what I just found? So I'm trying to get these quarters out. We got the new ones ordered. And I am here. What's that look like to y'all? Can y'all see that? Right there. That would be a Phillips screw head. Yes. They used Phillips all throughout this whole car. They used Phillips. All the way around there. All the way under here. If we crawl under here and take a look, you can actually see right up there, that is the old rusty quarter panel, and right there is a sheet metal screw, and right back here is another sheet metal screw, and they are all throughout. You can see one right up there. There's another sheet metal screw. So they have just used sheet metal screws to put this whole car back together. So where they cut this out right up here,
all the way down into the door and down. They use sheet metal screws. What a pain this thing's gonna be. So now I gotta try to drill. As you see, I'm trying to drill all these spot welds out. Or all these screws. They should be welds, but they're all screws. And gonna try to get those all out so I can get this outer shell off. Then once I get it off, I can actually see what I'm working with for the factory quarter panel underneath. And then I have to remove it off. So I'm actually gonna have to remove 4 total quarter panels and reinstall 2. Funny how that works, huh? Anyways, let's get back into removing this quarter panel off. Let's see how big of a headache it is. Whoa. All right, well that ain't supposed to happen. All right, so there you can see I just got that one drilled. I don't even know if I'm in the right areas. I think I am. It looks like that panel is releasing there. I'm using this bit. It's just a little drill bit with a guide center in it. And I went around and tapped some holes. And let's continue removing this out. And it's still a Phillips. So I think I got 1, 2, 3 more. I'm gonna tap those real quick and get them drilled. And we will continue on and remove this quarter panel. All right, so I got all those drilled out. Got started moving this panel here. You can see how much it flexes. So if we come down here and look, right here, I'm gonna grab a flashlight. They literally just mudded the lip. As you can see, it's full of rust in there and just a mess. And they actually went through here and they sheet screwed this whole panel underneath the mud to the back one. So I got some work ahead of me. I'm sure I'm gonna have to take them all out through the floor and so on and so forth. This is a nightmare. Please don't do this to your 69 GTO. Leave it up to the professionals. And even if they say they're professionals, make sure they're professionals. I'm only 26, but I know better than to do this. So yeah, this was in an actual body shop, a reputable one. They're no longer in business. I could see why, but yeah, enough ranting. Let's continue on. All right, so we got that quarter panel cut out of the GTO here. This is just a rough cut. I just wanted to get their jalopy of a mess out so I could see what I was working with. I got a good idea of what quarter panel I have coming in, kind of what it's gonna all entail. I still got to drill some of this out to get this section here out, and then here. But as you can see, I mean, they just used self-tapping screws everywhere in this thing. The whole back was a mess. All through here is all full of them. So I'm just really waiting for the quarter panel to come in on this side. This side will be a little better. They only put a lower panel in, but still it's full of screws and just a mess down there. So I'm gonna be working on this one a little bit more, so I'll film that. But until those new quarters come in, we're really kind of at a standstill on the GTO. But that's the update on the 69, and we're gonna keep on plugging.